Okay, we have a clear majority opinion is for green, which means action and fragment would be appropriate, but page would not be appropriate. So let's talk through and see which kinds of caching would actually work. You probably figured out right away that page caching is not appropriate because the very fact that we want to run a controller filter to protect the action means that the page cache would have to bypass the controller filter. So that certainly won't work. What about action caching? Well, if you choose your URLs correctly, action caching is a perfectly reasonable way to make sure that when you generate a view that has a bunch of movies, as long as the URL names the fact that those movies do or don't contain NC-17 movies, you should be able to reuse that same view. Right? So the idea that as long as you get to run the controller filter, and depending on the output of the filter, you return one view or another view, that complete action could be cached as long as you make sure to expire the views whenever you add movies that have that rating and so forth. And if you chose not to go that route, you could still cache fragments. For example, you could cache a fragment consisting of each individual movie, and you wouldn't have to re-render the NC-17 ones. You could cache fragments consisting of sets of movies that have the same rating. So it has a lot to do with how you choose to design the action in the view that goes along with it. But there is certainly a way to do it that action caching would be appropriate because you still get to run the controller filter. And the assumption you're making is that the list of NC-17 movies presented to any given user depends only on whether they're 17 or over. It doesn't depend on anything else about the query. To the extent that that's true, you can use action caching, or you could choose to use fragment caching. So 2 or 3 is correct, which is green, which is what most people voted for here in Berkeley.